Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. We are starting another week here. We've got to get another project around in the shop. So we're going to get the 8R out. It's back here in the back of the shop. Over there. It's cold back there, though. So rather than trying to get it to start right now cold, we're going to take an extension cord back there and plug in the engine block heater. So hopefully it starts a little bit easier here in a couple hours. So on most all of our equipment, there's a plug, and it's not an electric vehicle charger. Sorry. It is engine block heater. If I can get this, things are so much harder with one hand. Like you guys, you don't even know. Come on. I got it. Okay. So that goes into there, and essentially it heats up the engine coolant so that the engine is warm when you try and start it. So we'll let that run for a couple hours. It'll get nice and warm, and then we'll come out here, get it started, and pull around the front of the shop. I don't think Brock's coming today, so we might wait until tomorrow to do the service work on it when he is here. But we'll see. Dad moved a bunch of equipment into our shed back here. Moved the sprayer over here to get out of his way where he's doing them logs. Backed his dump trailer, and he was kind of cleaning up the driveway out here for snow removal purposes, so we have somewhere to pile it when we get a bunch of snow tomorrow morning. It's all going to melt right off because it's supposed to rain the rest of the day, but we might need this tractor to do that, so I was just looking to see where we're at. I'm not going to plug it in right now, but we might come out here this afternoon, plug this tractor in so it's ready to go overnight. Is that water or oil? Looks more like oil than water. Great. Trailer's leaking. That's water. All right. Well, just looking to see what we got. He's finishing up cutting some logs up, trying to get that job done. I think he's tired of it. Got those two. Got a whole couple more piles that he's cut up over the weekend here. And then what's he got? 4 or 5 small logs over here. So he's got this fancy little automatic blade sharpener here. This thing is pretty neat. Moves the blade over, lowers the grinding wheel. So it sharpens the tooth, so you can kind of see the back edge of these blades here. And then after he sharpens them, it's hard for you to see it, but yeah, it works. You can sharpen them a few times. Eventually the blades get some cracks in them and break, and I think he said he threw 15 or 20 of them away here because they were starting to break. So yeah, anyway, he's cut up a lot of lumber. I know that. All right, well, trying to figure out what else to do here. I got a couple of options. I could go down to the seed warehouse and hang some insulation. I might do that this afternoon. But I have one seed customer that had to wait until after the first of the year to make some decisions for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. But I think I'm going to go see them, see if they've figured anything out with stuff for next year, whether they want to order anything, don't want to order anything, whatever. Doesn't matter. I just need to check in with them. We have one more payment deadline coming up in a couple of weeks, so I've got time, but we should just get ahead of it. So I think I'm going to go do that, and then we'll come back here and get that tractor out later this morning or early afternoon or whenever it is that I get back here. And we'll prepare for the snow tomorrow. I'm back. That was a long trip. I was at that guy's place for 2.5 hours. Whew. Anyway, let's go see if we can get our tractor to start. Now, I know there was a point in time when Dad tried to get this tractor started and it wouldn't start, and he had the charger on it, it still wouldn't start. Brock and I tried it the other day last week, and it would turn over, but it wouldn't start. It was not totally dead, but we're just going to go ahead and throw the jump pack on right now before we try it, so hopefully it'll fire right up. We've had the block heater plugged in, so it should be nice and warm. Hopefully this will work. Oh yeah, come on. Yeah. this off. And we'll get it unplugged. Okay, coil up our cord and get the door open and drive it around in front of the shop. Let's see how the log cutting's coming. He's got that pile cleaned up. Got one on the mill now. One more to go. He's about done. I asked him how many logs he's cut up in the last 2 weeks, and he says probably 50 or 60. That's a lot. That's a lot of lumber. All right, let's go ahead and get this tractor driven around, put it in the shop. We'll get the book out, check out the hours, and see how many we put on this year, what all service work we need to do. We're at 4,700 hours. 4,500 would have been a hydraulic oil change, so if that didn't get done last year, we might have to do hydraulic oil on this tractor. It'll be a little bit more involved than what some of the other ones have been, or some of the other service work, but we'll see when the last time it was done. And figure out what else we got to do. Do a little cleaning. This tractor needs to make it up to the John Deere dealer at some point, probably sooner rather than later, for a steering cylinder barrel. We had those issues last year with the steering cylinder on this tractor, and they ended up kind of band-aiding it together so it quit leaking because they couldn't get the part that we needed. And they got the part in, so we need to get them the tractor. That's what happens when you get almost 5,000 hours on a tractor. Start getting some repair bills. So we are at 4,714 hours on that tractor. I looked at the filter. They were changed last year on January 3rd. Today's January 8th. And we were at 4,515 hours, which means we put 200 hours on it this year is all, which is not that many. For as important as this tractor is to us, and as nice as this tractor is, and as much as this tractor is worth, 200 hours a year is pretty low. But it plants all the beans, and then it runs the disc quite a lot in the fall. That's kind of its jobs now. This used to be my corn planting tractor. This is a 2012 model, and from the time we got it, it was what I used to plant corn, what I side dressed with, and what we ran the grain cart with, and it saw 350 to 400 hours a year. And then when we bought the 8RX, we kind of moved this one down the line, and now it plants beans and does some tillage work and does not see the hours that it used to. But it's kind of the point, right? When your tractors get older, you don't want to rely on them quite as much. I still need this to work because I need it to plant beans. So we're going to take care of it here and do the maintenance that needs to be done and service work that needs to be done. But yeah, I know that hold on. I understand this is still a really nice tractor, and that 5,000 hours or 4,700 isn't a pile of hours, and there are people running tractors with much higher hours, even of this vintage, and they do just fine with them. Personally, I don't want to rely on a tractor with 5,000 plus hours for my primary workhorse, and one that I have to have running all the time. That's why we have an 8RX with newer that's, a little bit more reliable than this one. That said, we still need 2 or 3 good reliable tractors, and this is one of those 3 for us. This, the 8RX, the 9R, that we all kind of need to be running all the time when we're in the field, spring and fall. Then we've got the 8430 that's a capable backup to this one, and maybe the 8RX depending on what we're doing with it. So yeah, it's good. I would love to be able to upgrade this one or the 8430, have another tractor around, 8RX, 8RT, something like that we could use to plant beans, do some of the other work. It's just not in the cards right now because we have other things that we're prioritizing, I guess. So this tractor going to run another year. I love this tractor, by the way. This one, that 8RX is nice, but man, do I love this tractor. According to our book, we changed hydraulic oil and filters, front hub oil, fixed a leak, and some O-rings on 1/11 of 22, which was at 4,265 hours. So we kind of jumped the cycle and did it ahead of our 4,500 hour change. When I look back here, it was changed at 2,992 hours, which would have been the 3,000 hour interval, 1,500 hour second time. on February 18th of 2019, and then we did it again. We kind of jumped it just a little bit, did it sooner than the 1,500 hours on 1/11 of 22. And if you go back, the reasoning for that, if you look at what we were at on 1/11 of 22, we were at 4265 hours. You go back a year prior, 1/5 of 21, we were at 3756. So that's almost 500 hours that we put on that tractor in that year, right? 37 to, yeah, 490 hours in a year. That's a lot of hours. And so I'm sure that knowing that we were putting close to 500 hours on it, I decided not to push it to the 4,700 hour range where we're at now on that hydraulic oil and stuff. So we changed it early. Little did I know on 1/11 of 22 that like 2 weeks later we were going to buy an 8RX. Like, this was literally 4 or 5 days before we kind of all of a sudden had that idea that, hey, there's an 8RX here, maybe we should go buy that. Happened at the Fort Wayne Farm Show. That would have been later that week or the next week. And then we just haven't put the hours on since. We were only 250 last year and then 200 this year. So knowing that now, I could have waited another year to change the hydraulic oil, but we didn't know that when we did it at the time. It's amazing. A couple weeks there. That was just right prior to when we bought the 8RX. So what that means is standard service work, engine oil, which really the engine oil doesn't even need changed to 200 hours. It does because it's an annual thing. If this was, the 4440, I would probably not change engine oil this year and we'd run it another year. Given that it's a tractor that I need to run and work and be, productive for us, we're just going to go ahead and change it, even if it is only at 200 hours. We may just blow air filters out. We'll have to look at those. But we'll also change, the cab air filters. We'll look at it. But I'm going to get some of those filters that are on the shelves up here, take them down so they're ready. We'll probably do all this stuff tomorrow. All right, we're going to let that tractor sit there for tomorrow because Brock is coming tomorrow, I'm pretty sure, assuming the roads aren't too terrible. But we'll let him do the service work and start working on cleaning stuff. It should only take us a day or two to get it through here, just like the 9R. Nothing real special going on there. I'm going to go down and hang some insulation. I have 3 separate seed trucks coming tomorrow. So stuff's going to start filling up a little bit. We're going to just keep working, pecking away at that insulation on the ceiling. It's working because when we get cold, frosty mornings, I can see exactly where the insulation is on the roof on the outside because it keeps the frost on the roof rather than melting off from the residual heat inside the building. So it makes me feel good. I know that I'm doing something that's making a difference. Well, I'm making some progress in here. I'm kind of doing those first 6 bays that are up towards the peak on that side. Stuff that's going to be difficult to get to later because I can't work off boxes when that whole area is full of boxes because it's too high to stand on them and where the boxes might be in the way of the lift to be able to get up there. So we're going to run those 6, try and get them all the way out to the wall here tonight. That's my goal. And then maybe tomorrow we'll work on this side, and obviously under the door we're not going to have boxes, so we can just keep working that side all the way out. But we're getting the 1-inch foam stuff put up there. We're going to do the fiberglass, but I decided to do all the foam first, and I might wait on some of the fiberglass until I have some steel on hand ready to go up underneath it because, well, that fiberglass is not light and it is going to sag, and I'm just afraid. So far the stuff that I put up is holding just fine, but I don't want it to start falling down before I can get steel put up underneath it. So we might hold off on putting that up a little bit, but this styrofoam is helping tremendously, so we're just going to keep working on that for right now. Grayson came out after school here, riding a scooter. We're making progress. I got up past that light there, decided to go start against the end wall, and we'll kind of meet in the middle here because some of these are easier to trim where the rafters are, the trusses. And so this sheet going in against that should come out just about even with this truss if it's the same as the other side. So we're gonna see what we get here. Check it out. I got 3 runs all the way across. Done. I gotta cut 3 more short ones. So I put the 2 full sheets in against the north end wall there, and then that leaves me with a little over 5 foot It was like 64, 65 inches gap in the middle here, which, given that it lands right on this brake, is a whole lot easier to cut it to fit there than to cut what would be, you see I got a notch around all of these like this, and if this was a full sheet I would have to notch it for a long ways, and then I got a gap on this side that I got to fill in. So that's a much cleaner, better way to do it. I like that. That's working out. Sweet. Okay, well, I think that's all I'm going to do for tonight. It'd be nice to get those other 3 done, but I'm probably going to be down here a fair bit tomorrow because I do have 3 seed trucks coming, and we'll probably be waiting around for them a little bit. We can work on this kind of stuff, so yeah, see how it goes. All right, well, that's it for me today. Once again, not the most exciting stuff I've ever had, but that's all right. So tomorrow, like I said, we got 3 seed trucks. Brock's coming, so he'll work on the tractor in the shop there. I'll probably be down here. You might get a little video on both ends. I'm sure I'll be back and forth. But yeah, it's the middle of January. We're getting stuff done. It's just that time of year where nothing's real pressing and critical, but we want to keep moving and working on stuff. So that's what we're doing. I feel good about what's happening in here and the progress that I'm making on this. I know it's not the fastest, and it would have been way faster to hire somebody to just come in and spray foam it and be done with it. But it would also cost me 3 times as much. And I have time, so we're doing it myself. So anyway, thanks for watching. Questions and comments, leave them down below, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.